This might seem like a really small thing for me to be excited about, but I am super excited that the Bears did something that I was asking them to do. There are 4 weeks left in this season. That means if you're going to steal somebody else's practice squad player, you have to do it now to be able to see how they can pan out for you the rest of the year. The Bears are lacking depth in the trenches. That is clear as day. They have struggles on both sides of the ball. It's something they need to address. I am literally working on a video right now about players the Bears can pluck from other practice squads just to test these guys out, just to see if they can bring in a little bit of help. And the Bears went and picked one of them up. One that I was targeting. I'm very excited right now. All right, so up here at the top is the transactions the Bears have made in the last 24 hours. They placed DeAndre Carter on injured reserve. He will be out for the rest of the year. But then they went and signed Jonathan Ford. Now look right down here, 6:70 to the score. An hour ago, put the Bears poached defensive lineman Jonathan Ford from the Packers practice squad. I freaking love this. So for those who don't remember, I put a little bit down here for the practice squad rules. If you steal somebody else's practice squad member, you can't do it within 6 days of having a game with them. We play the Vikings this week, so that qualifies. You have to have them on your active 53-man roster for at least the next 3 weeks. So Jonathan Ford will come to the Bears. He will be on our defensive line. He's a defensive interior. He'll be with the Bears for at least the next 3 weeks, probably the remainder of the season. The Bears also released Demetric Felton, who they signed last week to the practice squad, and we signed Royce Freeman. And I think a lot of you probably remember Royce Freeman. He was a solid dominant back in college for Oregon. 2016, we'll get to that slide in a minute. 2016, and then he looked like he was going to have a place in Denver, and then they went and drafted Javonte Williams, and then his career kind of ended there, and he went to Carolina and Houston and Cleveland. He's been all over the place. The Rams, he's been all over the place since then, and the Bears have some injuries, have some concussions, have some depth need there, and we need a big power back, and he's a bruiser. He's a big boy. All right, so let's start with Jonathan Ford. He was a 7th round, 235th overall pick for the Packers in 2022, and he's only spent time on the practice squad. So here at college, Miami, Florida, University of Miami, he was a good tackler, and look how big he is. 6'5", 338 pounds. He's Big Bill Volume 2, except he can tackle and he doesn't get the pressures. So he's not going to be our big guy in there getting pressure on the quarterback, but he's going to help stuff these lanes for the running game that we're absolutely abysmal on. All year, I've been preaching it. Our defensive line is terrible at stopping the run. Jonathan Ford can be a big help for that. Big multiple context there. He's a big boy. All right, so his tackling very solid. In college, or in the NFL in preseason, a little bit of struggle coming into the league. You can see why he's been on their practice squad the entire time. This is preseason only. He hasn't played a rep in the NFL. But then look at how his tackling has come along and his run defense solid this last year in the preseason. Limited reps. I like the idea of this, though. You can see at the top there. I didn't take that down. Number 3. This was my number 3 idea for the Bears to steal from someone else's practice squad to help us through the rest of the year. That video will be out tomorrow or tonight if I get enough time to do it. Might be another late night release that I do. I'm almost done with it. And I think it's one of my better videos as far as roster construction and ideas for the rest of the year. So stay tuned for that one. But this is a slide I literally just stole from that one when this news came out, because Jonathan Ford was someone I was eyeing as a good run stuffer. So this is really good for the Bears. I'm finally glad they did something. I said, this is a good idea. Let's do this. The Bears went and did it. I'm really excited. And then the other big news, Royce Freeman signs with the Bears. He was last with the Browns. But man, he was on the Cowboys practice squad. Yeah, right there. This preseason, and he was with LA last year. So he's on the Cowboys practice squad. And then he got released. Now he's with the Browns. Then he was released. So he's been a free agent. The Bears took a flyer on him. Here's his college career. You can see beefy. Every single year, solid. 1,800 yards in 2015. 2016, 945 yards. 2017, 1,475. I mean, he's put some miles on his tread. But he's a big boy. 6 foot, 229. So he's a power back. And he's not done in the league. He'll have a shot. So here's his career, averaging just around 4 yards per attempt and some decent yards after contact, around 3. Is he going to change the Bears roster for the future? No, this is not a game-changing, this guy changed our career, blah, blah, blah. This is a solid addition this year to see what we can do to help with our power running game. Roschon Johnson likely out again with his concussion. No reason to rush him back. Royce Freeman can help fill in that gap. Of course, we have Darrington Evans. As you saw, we released Demetric Felton, and then you still have Travis Homer and DeAndre Swift. And DeAndre Swift is questionable again. I would, if I'm gambling, I'm betting DeAndre Swift goes again, but Royce Freeman helps pound it. You saw some of those plays where DeAndre Swift was taking some of those poundings. Royce Freeman can take a little bit of that off of him in this game. So big news for the Bears, making 4 transactions, one of them negative, DeAndre Carter going to the injured reserve, but 2 big positives with stuffing up that defensive line, helping to shore that up, and then helping with the running back room too. I like all this. I like those 2 transactions especially. I think it's going to be a big help. It's going to be fun to watch to see if they get any playing time this week. So with that, keep tuning in. I'll have the other video out soon. Da Bears, and bear down.